Thank you. My name is Reshma Ramachandran. I'm a practicing family medicine physician and assistant professor at Yale School of Medicine, where I co-direct the collaboration for regulatory rigor, integrity, and transparency. I also serve in an unpaid position as the chair of the Doctors for America FDA Task Force. Neither Doctors for America, Yale Crit, nor I have any conflicts of interest and do not receive any funding from the pharmaceutical or medical device industry. My remarks today reflect my own views. I'll be speaking today from the perspective of a prescribing clinician. Since FDA's accelerated approval of lecanemab earlier this year, several patients and their families have asked me whether their drug could be beneficial for them and if it is safe for them to take. I had hoped that the FDA's briefing documents for today's advisory committee meeting would provide clarity so that I might be able to better answer these questions. However, in reviewing these materials, I fear that I will not be able to do so. Instead, there remain several critical unanswered questions. First, what guidance can the FDA provide to me and other prescribers on how to identify patients who are at high risk of serious adverse events or death likely due to lecanemab? I ask this because within the briefing documents and during today's meeting, there'll be discussion of possible risk factors that might further heighten the likelihood of serious harms from lecanemab. This includes cerebral amyloid angiopathy or the accumulation of amyloid plaque in the walls of arteries, which is thought to contribute to significant brain bleeding. The FDA has acknowledged that there are no clear clinical criteria for diagnosing this. And moreover, as also noted by the FDA, many Alzheimer's patients with this risk factor do not demonstrate characteristic findings on MRI. This means as a clinician, it will be incredibly difficult to identify patients who are at higher risk of serious harm, including death, and to be able to counsel them appropriately. Second, will the FDA and the advisory committee elaborate on what the marginal clinical benefit seen for lecanemab and Clarity AD means in the real world? How should we articulate to our patients whether, if any, meaningful clinical outcomes were seen in this trial? Throughout the document, FDA seems to conflate clinical benefit with statistical significance. Several of my colleagues and I have struggled to understand and translate to our patients what these small changes in cognitive score are in terms of cognitive and physical function and whether or not they're meaningful. Third, within the Clarity AD trial, patients under 65 do not seem to show a statistically significant benefit across all cognitive scores. Moreover, among older patients where statistically significant change had been demonstrated in their cognitive score, they were also more likely to experience brain bleeding, brain swelling, or infusion reactions leading to functional unblinding or awareness that they were taking the drug and dropping out of the study. Can the FDA answer whether this might have introduced bias and contributed to the differences seen between the age groups? As a clinician, I look to the FDA to provide reassurance that what I'm prescribing is meaningfully effective and safe for my patients. I want to have a treatment option for my patients suffering from this devastating disease. However, failing to provide answers to these key questions that my fellow clinicians and I have would unfairly shift the burden of uncertainty onto prescribing clinicians, patients, and their loved ones. Based on the current level of evidence, which fails to demonstrate meaningful clinical outcomes and assurance of safety, FDA should not have approved lecanemab and should require further studies to help us determine whether the drug is truly safe and effective for our patients. Thank you.